Kent joining us?
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you might be in the world. Welcome to the show. It's episode 254, Pro Synth Network Live. It's Friday, the 14th of February. It is, I guess, in most parts of the world, Valentine's Day. I hope you've had a lovely day with your loved ones, whether they're betrothed or otherwise. I hope you've had fun and eaten lots of shitty chocolates. Exchange roses and cards and gifts. And if you haven't, don't worry, because that's okay too. Love yourself, because we all need to do a little bit more of that, I think. A little bit of self-love. And I don't mean that in the necessarily in the physical sense.
Easy.
We're going somewhere we don't probably want to go. Anyway, welcome to the show. And we are live again. We've got a smidge of news to cover, so there'll probably be lots of waffling, flim-flamming and testiculation. So we'll do more of that. And, of course, you can join in on that, and I'll tell you how to do that in just a moment. Before I do, let me just go through the regular stuff. So if you haven't already, give us a like. If you want to comment on the show, you can do so in the YouTube chat. You can also do that in the Facebook and Twitch chat places. We see all of those come through. So if you want to chat with us, do that. Or want to chat with other people, YouTube is pretty much the best place to do it. That's where the bulk of you hang out. But of course, if you do use one of the other platforms, then we will see your comments come through. If you have a question for us, or well, yeah, because we've got no other people on the show tonight. If you've got a question for us, stick a big capital Q in front of it, and then hopefully we'll see it and move it over to the question bucket. And we'll pull those out and answer those as per usual. If you haven't already, do give us a subscription. Doesn't cost you anything. You can even turn the notifications off so you don't get troubled by us. But it does help boost our kind of, our workings. I was actually talking to a company just the other day who are looking to maybe do a little bit of sponsorship with us. And if I can give them bigger numbers, it increases the chances of them maybe doing some business with us. But more on that as and when it happens. But yeah, do give us a subscribe. And if you want to be notified, ring that bell and you'll get the notifications come through as and when. And also, if you enjoy the show and you think there's somebody else who might enjoy it that doesn't watch this, then do feel free to share the link around far and wide on your socials or wherever. If you want to write it on a piece of paper, stick it in an envelope, put a stamp on it and send it and hope that it might get there in a week or two, you can do that as well. So do share us around like your mother. Also, if you want to support the channel, you can do so in a number of ways. Probably the best way to do it on a regular basis is to subscribe to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/ProSynth Network. And for a minimum $2, you can pledge more if you like, but it's a minimum $2. You get access to exclusive videos without adverts. You get access to exclusive videos. You get access to patches and stuff for your software and hardware synthesizers and much more besides. And you can start and stop that as frequently or as often as you like. You can pledge more than the $2 if you want to. You don't have to do it. But if you want to help support the channel, keep us on the air, that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is via our merchandise store, which you might be aware that we've actually got a merchandise store. If you want to see it, here it is. This is the merch store. And on that merch store, you can buy goods and items of clothing, items to drink things from, items to wear out on the town or in bed, body bags, not body bags. Well, maybe there is I don't know. It might be a small body. I don't know.
Bring out your dead.
Yeah, I'm not dead yet. Soon will
Bring
be.
out your dead synths.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of things on there. There's t-shirts and there's trousers and skirts and jackets and hats and stickers and badges and all sorts of wonderful things. So if you want to do that, go and visit our merch store. We've sold an absolute ton of stuff. It's brilliant, and hopefully going to see some of that stuff out and about as we go around the shows this year. Of course, we take a small slice from the sales of that stuff, and again, that all goes towards keeping the channel on the air. The other way you can support us is through YouTube channel membership, so you can do that. Again, minimum $2 a month. You can start and stop it as frequent as you like. You get access to all the free stuff that we put up at the same place as the same stuff as you get on the Patreon. So whichever suits you best is entirely up to you. And of course, if you're watching on YouTube, you can use YouTube chat stickers to donate money. And if you're watching on Catch Up, there's a thanks button just down below there somewhere. So it's
very much.
Yeah, lots of ways to support, and we thank you all for it. And it helps keep us on the air. We are across all the social media channels. Not that we frequent them that much, apart from Facebook. That's probably the main one. Because as my kids keep telling me, Facebook is for old people, and we're generally old people. So we're there. But you can follow us on all of those, and maybe one day you'll get a surprise and you'll have a ping on Twitch or Blue Sky. It's probably because I've hit the button by mistake. But there you go. We're across all of those if you want to join us there. And I think that's everything. I think that's
almost
all
everything. Apart from
who?
In the chat, look.
I'm not looking at that. I'm too busy doing other things. Oh, there we go. Look, Kevin Hansen.
Early one.
Look at that, Kevin. We haven't even got into the meat and bones of the show, and he's already donated money. Thank you very much indeed, Kevin, for using Super Chat or Super Stickers. I can't remember which one that is, but thank you ever so much for your donation. It is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much indeed for that. And welcome to everyone that's in the chat. I know there's a whole bunch of people in there. I could spend all evening saying hello to each and every one of you, but to know that when I say hello and I love you, I'm saying it just to you. Yeah.
You're looking. You. Why are you looking over there? Well, look at the camera.
You.
To you. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Did you thank our mods?
Not you. You. Yeah, I don't know who have we got in, because I haven't seen any mods in there. We have 3 moderators in our chat that help us with posting links and keeping you horrible lot in line. They are generally Andy, Synth Addict, and then Andy Brooks and Ben from Musings. I haven't seen them pop up in there, but if you're around, say hello. That would be nice. But those, quick, let's riot. Indeed. But yeah, if you are in there, guys, say hello. But if not, don't worry about it. I'm sure these people will be fine. Anyway, that's enough from me. Let's bring in where did he go? He's gone again. Anyway, let's bring in Mr. Longhurst. Here we are. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm all right, but someone was saying my mic was hot. Is it still hot? Do we know? Is it okay now? Someone can just let us know in the chat. That would be good. Good evening, synthesizer work. Oh, look.
Yeah, I'm wearing mine.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd do the duophonic, the paraphonic thingy, the stereo. There we go. Yeah, there's been all sorts of talk about what CREW might mean. Yeah. We'll not go into that. How are you?
Me, I'm all right. I'm just, it's the weekend. I'm glad that it's the weekend. I wish the weekend would be a lot longer than 2 days. Apparently in America, it's a 3-day weekend because it's President's Day on Monday. Allegedly. Yeah.
So I meant to ask you, talking of such things, you said about a potential sponsor. Can I ask, is it Kipling Cakes?
Unfortunately not. No. Oh. No. You can't eat what these people make, and if you did, it would probably make you very ill.
So it's not Kipling Cakes?
No, sorry. There you go. Lovely, nice and quiet evening then.
And I'm back again.
Damn. I don't know where the other guy went, because Kent popped in and then just disappeared again, so I have no idea what's going on there. But Kent...
He normally pops in. He'll be in.
Yeah,
Kent, come along.
hurry up. Come on, look, what's the time? 7:10. Jeez. What's going on? Right, so we need somebody else because we've got an hour and 50 minutes to fill with not a lot.
I could play.
No, we want to keep the viewers that we do have, if possible.
Okay.
So I'm whilst I'm doing the show, I'm having a conversation with an electrician friend of mine who's going to be doing some pat testing for me, and I do need to reply. So just bear with me 1 second.
I can take over from here. So pat testing is, of course, referring to the postman. The postman of well-known postman who is being tested on his driving skills and delivery. And we're hoping he gets a first-class pass. Do you see what I did there?
Anyway, so here we are. It's Friday the 14th of February. And as we kind of expect at this time of year, after NAMM and before everything else, everything goes very quiet. So this week's news has been pretty thin on the ground.
Oh, there is some news.
There's not a lot, but there's a few bits.
Trust 0101. Are you ready? It's their birthday. It's the 20th. Happy birthday
of course,
to
yes.
you. I haven't finished it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear brothers Grimm. Happy birthday to you.
And our listening numbers or viewing numbers drop.
Yeah, subscriptions just dropped. 0 viewers.
There we go. They're the birthday bells. But yes, to Le Mans and Lamar, a very happy birthday.
The brothers Grimm.
Indeed. So there we go. Let's crack on, I suppose, until Kenty Poos gets here with a little bit of the news. Let's see if we can string this stuff out. Let's start off. Hang on a minute. What's going on there? Oh, there we go. Right. Oh, no, I'll tell you what, before we do that, we do have a Synthspirations coming up later on, but I need to show some photos. This is the Old Men of MIDI dinner. This is back at NAMM a couple of weeks ago. But I just wanted to draw your attention to the fine attire that Dr. Manny Fernandez, far right, is sporting. Look at that. He's sporting one of our zip-up hoodies with the logo on. But he's there with the likes of Mark Vail, Marcus Ryle, Skippy, and also Drew Schlesinger there as well. So that's and of course Manny was rocking that same jacket, playing a Rhodes Chroma or an ARP Chroma. I don't know which one it was, but he was on the Alan R. Perlman stand playing with that jacket. Our very own Peter James Stephen rocking. Is that that's the polo shirt? Which mine is in the post somewhere. He's also got one of those crew T-shirts as well because he is part of the live crew. But yeah, there you go. Some attire. So if you want some of those, you can go and buy those from our merchandise store. The link is in the description below the video. So there we go. Right. Let's have a look at some of the news. Hang on. James Glue says he's got some news. New album out next Tuesday. There we go. Bandcamp preview listening party this Sunday after Jamie's show, because Jamie's doing another show again. He's getting back into that. He's got some guests on. I don't know who they are. I don't think he said yet. But yeah.
And where are you releasing the album, James? Is it going out on Bandcamp?
Bandcamp, yeah, I would imagine it's Bandcamp. Yeah.
I'll be jumping on and watching you, matey.
There we go.
I'll be logging into that to see what you've been up to.
Indeed. Matt. Our friend Matt at Bossick247. Happy Valentine's Day. Get yourself a box of chocolates. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah,
I hope you've been treating the good lady wife today, Matt. So hope to see you both. Well, hopefully I'll see one of you at Synth East, I believe. You'll be coming down, so that'll be cool. We'll talk about Synth East later because that's, of course, next week, which is why I won't be here next week. But we do have a stand-in, I think. No, actually, no. Hang on a minute. We don't have a stand-in. I'm working on that one.
It's going very well, isn't it? Really?
It is, yeah. I've worked out a stand-in for the other show that I'm not doing in a couple of weeks' time, but I haven't done one for next week yet. I don't think. Certainly, it's slipped my mind if I have.
So next week's, you mean for here?
Fun. For here.
Oh right, don't worry. I've got stand-in standing by.
Standing by.
Yeah, I've got Ned the Milkman,
Okay.
Mr. Kipling coming on.
Fair enough.
Sorts of people.
Dr. Mike Metley says, I will only ask once and then not hassle anyone about it. But would you guys like me to join the show today? Should we have a vote? Should we put that to a vote? I think we should put that to a vote. Let's use the voting system, because we are going to be very pushed on. Hang on a second. Let's do this. Can I do a vote through here? I should. Oh, hang on. I need to log into my other account. Let's pad here. Let's pad for a moment.
Whilst you're doing that, whilst you're doing the survey, let me just pop that up. Oh, Matt Evans, you beauty. You absolute beauty.
Why am I doing that? Right, here we go.
Right, so
let's
we're
do a poll.
back to the vexatious.
Start a poll. What's the question? Should we let Dr. Mike in the show?
Yeah.
There we go.
Let's go.
The poll is now in the YouTube chat. Have at it. It's all entirely up to you, so we don't get blamed. That's the thing.
Mike, are you hearing this?
He knows I love him. It's an overwhelming at the moment. It's an overwhelming.
He's coming over.
He is,
and we're gonna have some time with him. The poor thing.
I wish it would tell you who voted yes or no, because I think someone voted no. Lots of people have voted yes, though. Lots of people have voted yes.
Let's have a look. Now,
Wow.
what shall I, Mike? What shall I vote? What shall I vote? Yes or no? Sorry, mate, but it's got to be yes.
Right. Okay.
Or was it no?
Let me just send. I think there's no chance of it not being. So let's do that.
Kent looks like. Where is it? What's going on with Kent? So Kent's in the chat.
Kent's in the chat. He's not on.
Let's have a look. Kent Spong, fucking Max.
Right.
Well, that's not very polite with a raincoat.
Mike, the link is in your messenger, so go and do that and join in. Whilst we wait for him, Kent is supposedly fighting with his Mac Studio, and the Mac Studio is winning.
Mac Studios.
I don't think it's the Mac so much as it's a case of picnic. Problem in chair, not in computer.
Well, yeah, possibly. Lamar, you missed your birthday song, mate.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we don't do funky birthday songs here. Don't make him do it again.
No,
Don't
really.
make him do it again.
Really.
Okay, so we're just waiting for the how should we bill him? The illustrious, the inimitable, the unsuppressible, insurmountable. Any other names for Dr. Mike?
Annoying?
Yeah. Verbose?
The thoroughly knowledgeable, the fount of all knowledge where it comes to such things as synthesis. He's
taking his time, honestly.
He bloody is.
He's not passing the audition here, I tell you. Let's just make sure.
This isn't going terribly well. You haven't got a Mac, have you?
Yeah. There you go. I've sent it. Yeah, it's definitely sent. So.
Well, we could always.
I think we ought to make a start because we're floundering here. Oh, hang on a sec.
Hang on.
Hang on.
Kenty Poos.
Fucking.
Sort your camera out.
Kenty
Hang on.
does whatever a Kenty Poos does.
There we go.
There we go. Hello, Poppet.
Good evening.
Hi.
How are you?
Stressed.
Okay.
I've just had a customer here.
Oh dear.
But I was up in time to be on the show and turn the computer on. No sound. Keyboards. Yeah, I can hear the keyboards. I can hear everything else. I hear the mic. Nothing coming from the browser. So I turned off I go, I'll reset it. Yeah, restart. So I restart. And then the keyboard wouldn't Bluetooth to the computer. So I could enter my code so I could get back into the pigging thing.
Only you.
It's taken all this. Anyway, hello.
Hello.
I have just had to inform the customer. He's just left. He was going on about how much he liked the Marx Brothers.
Okay.
I went, oh, okay, like that. He said, yeah. He said, both of them are brilliant. I said, there's 4 Marx Brothers. He goes, is there? I said, yeah, there's Harpo, Groucho, Chico, and Zeppo.
Zeppo, yeah.
No, the guys with the bowler hats. Oh, fuck off. Go away. There's the door. Piss off. He thought Lauren Hardy was the Marx Brothers. I hope he ain't a fucking booking agent. That's all I know. Christ on a stick. Anyway, hello.
So would you be Stan and would we both be Laurel?
What do you mean both?
Both. Which one of you is going to be under the piano with the horse on top of it?
Well, indeed.
Yeah,
I'll be the horse.
Okay.
Anyway, we're still waiting for Metlay.
I think
offered his services.
To be honest with you, Andrew, I think you're more built to be a horse, actually.
Oh, look at that. We're having mic problems.
Ah, yes.
Mr. Metlay.
89%, yes, absolutely.
Why does he always look like he's just found a £50 note in his underpants?
Because that's the only place he'd ever find it.
Oh. Go. Who slipped that in there?
Hello, Mike.
I thought I was having.
Hello. Happy Love Day, all of you nice people on the computer.
Oh, is
How
that
are
what
you?
it is?
Hello.
And happy Valentine's Day to you too, Mike.
Or as we like to refer to it here, Discount Candy Eve.
I had my Valentine's
I always
morning.
thought it was Hallmark Day or something like that.
No, Discount Candy Eve, because tomorrow's Discount Candy Day. All the Valentine's
yeah,
candy
that's
that
true.
they can't sell.
It's been a special day for me because I've got pins and needles in this hand. Can't feel a thing. So I can pretend it's somebody else.
Dude,
you just give up the sewing. Give it up. Give up the sewing, mate.
It's something doing it, yeah.
what are we going to do with you, man? You are just falling apart.
Somebody suggested that I get cremated and then put into an hour egg timer. At least I'd be of some use. And also,
I just have to turn you over once a show.
yeah,
There's
but
not enough of
also
you.
I can join in at party games at Christmas.
Good thinking, Batman.
Yeah,
And there's Kent as timekeeper.
Indeed.
I think
Anyway.
these things out. Don't worry.
Shall we do some semblance of a show?
Welcome to the Pro Synth Network.
Yes.
Oh
indeed.
right. Oh, hence the
Every cent,
okay,
every
yeah,
day,
yeah.
all the time, forever.
Right.
Mike's not wearing his.
Yeah, Mike.
Can you give me 30
Mike.
seconds? I'll go get it.
Go on then.
Yeah.
All right,
Go on.
be right back. Hang on a moment.
Oh, okay. I was kind of hoping it was in the next state, but anyway.
Be nice. Be nice.
Not
Right.
the next room.
Let's
I love
start. Let's start with some
Let's
news.
do that.
Let's start with some of this. Let's do this one.
Well, that was a
Well, we'll stop with just as Patrick's getting started there because we haven't got time to show the whole thing. But this,
No,
is-
we have.
Yeah, we could have done really. But this is the news that Behringer have released the filter from their Wasp Deluxe desktop synthesizer module as a standalone Eurorack multi-mode filter, giving you all of that waspy kind of flavour, I guess. It's quite a gnarly little thing. It has 3 inputs, 1 for audio, 2 for CV, and then 2 outputs, 1 for the band pass and 1 for the low pass and high pass. And that's basically it, really. I mean, I don't really know what else we can say about this. I'll tell you what I can say is that when I was flicking through to find out a price for this is going to be about $49, by the way. You can buy the entire Wasp desktop unit from Behringer at the moment for about 125 of your British pounds, which I thought was just like insanely cheap. And a lot of people really kind of like what they've done with the Wasp. But now you can play with that filter and throw anything you want through it. And no, Kosh, I'm not slowly warming up to modular. Trust me, it's a very slow news week. I think, so this is nothing to do with me and any sort of desire to get into modular. It's just we don't have much to talk about. So there we go. It's the Wasp VCF. And it's available now. Well, it's available to order now from most reputable dealers for about 49 of your US dollars, stroke pounds, stroke euros. There it is. Kent, tell us about the Wasp filter. Do you know much about it? Is it a nice thing to have? Would this be a worthwhile investment for somebody with Eurorack?
Yeah, it would be at that price. I would add, though, that the Wasp filter, I mean, its central IC, which I think is the 3700, LM3700, or LM3900, I can't remember which, but it's a widely available chip. And technically, if you were so inclined, you can build a Wasp filter for about 12 quid. Right. But of course, you've got the convenience of the front panel, the knobs, and everything else. So the thing is, yeah, cool. It's cool. So, I don't think it's a 3080. I seem to remember it being a LM either 3700 or 3900. Is the main filter in chip in the Wasp filter. So, yeah, it's a good price, like you say, and and the whole unit thing is a very, very good price because vintage Wasps, which are total pain in the arse, they really are quite overpriced, like most vintage stuff is now.
How much are they going for, Ken?
I did the last one that Richard sold at RL went for 1,400 quid.
That's with the touch keyboard, isn't it?
Yeah. It didn't have the Caterpillar, and it didn't have the sequencer, and that's quite a rare beast, the sequencer. The interesting thing about the sequencer, if we remember rightly, was that the start button doesn't latch. You push start and put some masking tape around it, and then it will repeat.
Oh, really?
Or you can sit it upside down, resting on something, so it pushes on the button. Yeah.
Oh, that's genius.
Yeah, brilliant, isn't it?
British design. You've got to be proud.
Yeah, but...
to quote Bill Bailey, yay, we're rubbish.
Well, it was quite groundbreaking at the time, obviously, because when it did originally come out, it was £169. And the other synths that were available were massively more expensive than that in every direction.
It changed the complexion of UK electronic music. So many people were able to get into it that weren't before.
And it really set up my early training. I had to wait another 40-odd years before the Rolly turned up. But when it did, I go, yeah, I can deal with this. Thanks to my Wasp training.
Yeah, for me, it was the Electro Harmonix mini synthesizer, which had the same kind of a keyboard.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, my first synth, actually.
Just so you're aware, look, this is the Wasp Deluxe synth that Behringer produce, and it's 127 pounds.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And that's the synth with the filter and everything else.
Yeah,
that's
really
not a bad little price.
Yeah, and they've nailed the sound.
It's not difficult, I suppose.
It's not overly difficult, but at the end of the day, for that money, wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it's built quite solidly compared to the original Wasp, which literally, if you left it out on the window ledge on a sunny day, you're buggered.
Yeah.
Because it would it'll do a Salvador Dali.
Yeah.
Over the edge of the window ledge.
Drip,
Yeah. I've had to repair many of them and put those new touch strips on them. You put the sticker over the top. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, so very welcomed, actually. It's a good sound. The Wasp is a great sound, actually. Really fantastic.
I mean, they're not the first to do this. Obviously, Dirtfer do the A124, and there's a special edition version of that. So it essentially, is kind of just
Someone in chat was saying that the Depfer version wasn't very reliable for them, that they were having build issues. I don't remember who it was, but that just went by a minute ago.
So they were faithfully following the Wasp tradition then.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose when the original is as flimsy as all hell, then anything you make now
it is a very flimsy piece of kit. It really is.
So,
but there again, everybody was aspiring to have an AKS.
Yeah,
it was a poor man's AKS, really.
Yeah,
very poor.
Yeah,
or a poor man's. Yeah, it was a poor man's almost any synthesizer you could.
Well, it was a poor AKS for any man or any woman.
Well, there was one point in the mid, I think it was mid to late 70s, where an AKS was exactly the same price as a Bentley. Just to give you a...
I had a Bentley like that once.
the Corgi model.
Yeah. Yeah.
I drove a Bentley like that once.
Oh, I've driven a Bentley. It's good fun.
Here's the thing, the Wasp, this particular filter, I like the sound of the Wasp. Like Kent, I really like the filters. What I found odd about this, at the price, it's a steal. It's a steal. The only thing I found odd about this was when he was in the demo, because I've not heard this, but when he was mixing between the low pass and the high pass, there was some jaggies going on in there somewhere. I don't know quite what they were. It just felt a little uncomfortable. And I'd rather have had the low pass and the high pass out, almost. I'd rather have had two separate outputs and get rid of the mix. But that said, it's 49 quid, and it does have a very musical sound. The fact it doesn't have self-resonating resonance, but it's a very musical resonance. It kind of reminds me a bit of the CS in that way. It's a good sound. It's a good sound. 49 quid. What can you say?
Well, indeed, which makes it around half the price, roughly, of the old, the dirt phone, which some might say it is based. But then, of course, the Dirtfer is just a copy of the Wasp filter, but nobody gives them any hassle.
No, exactly. And one of many that are copies of the Wasp filter. So, yeah, in this case, good thing. And if it saves Kent having to repair Wasps that have been left over radiators and that kind of stuff, then
they're not really coming in much now. It was the Wasp Deluxe was the one to aim for. That was the one in the wooden case.
That had an actual keyboard.
We actually had an actual keyboard as well, and it was very great. But I've seen one of them go for monies that would. It's just like, it's just like, oh my God, what is happening to the planet?
Let's not go there. That's not a good topic for today.
Yeah, no. The guy that bought it, I remember it was beautiful condition. I had restored all the wood and everything like that, and it was absolutely immaculate. But it went for 6.5. I mean, yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, Behringer's Wasp Deluxe VCF is available to order now for around 49 of your particular currency, wherever you might be in the world. Let's have a look at this. We've got a video. We're going to have to show it on YouTube because it was too big to load up into the system here. But this apparently is a new free digital audio workstation, but with a slight twist.
Hey folks, welcome back to another video. Today I'm excited to share a new digital audio workstation called OpenDAW with you. I support this project because I believe everyone should have a free tool to make music. OpenDAW does not need any login, subscription or payment. It will be open source and works on every platform. Some free DAWs do exist, but many come with limits. For example, Ardour is free only if you compile the source code for yourself, and you must pay to download the binaries, for example. Others need you to log in or charge for full features. So OpenDAW is different. It is completely open and free for everyone. And this is why I became a donor and supporter. Another great thing is that OpenDAW runs in your web browser. This means you can use it anywhere, even on a school computer or any basic device. So it's perfect for education, right? So let's talk a bit about the creator first.
Let's actually talk about this thing itself, which is called OpenDAW, and it is exactly what it says on the tin. It is a free digital audio workstation, although I don't believe it's available just yet. Let's just bring up the web page on the screen here. But it works inside your browser, which rang alarm bells for me straight away. It's designed for a wide audience, whether you're a student, amateur, professional, collaborative user. It will be open source. It will be available soon. It will obviously work on any platform because it's browser-based. It's built in WebStorm, running Vite and TypeScript, although I have no idea what those things are and what they mean.
Oh, you don't? Well,
I have
I have no idea either.
No.
Okay.
OpenDAW will be available later as a offline version, so they say. But this has been we've had kind of DAWs in browsers before. And I'm not entirely sure how well they've worked, and I'm not entirely sure how keen I am on something that works in a browser that is then open to issues with the browser, because we all know that browsers every now and again have some dodgy upgrades. If it relies on your internet connection, not everybody has the same sort of internet connection. I don't know. Gentlemen, who would like a little go on this one first? Go on then, Longhurst, seeing as you put your finger up.
So to speak.
Indeed.
But unmute.
But yeah, unmute your microphone, you audio professional. No, you're still muted.
You're the little icon with the microphone with the line through it.
You're done.
There we go. So just look at the name tag. Or what, I don't know, wherever it is. So back in 2018, some very good friends of mine, one of whom came from Emu Systems. I don't know if you know, but I used to work for them.
No.
They built a Chrome-based internet, cloud-based Chrome browser music app that did exactly this, and it had pretty much everything you could share as well. You could actually do the real-time sharing and writing and composing. There was some delay, but they kind of compensated for that. It had EQ, it had effects, it had all of the stuff. But it also had video. And unfortunately, we decided to make it into a video app, a video sharing app, a new video sharing app called Our Jams, which was absolutely brilliant and went like that. And the problem is with music and or video doing it this way, but particularly music, is you're stuck in the cloud and you're stuck on the browser. And yes, you do have those issues. The good news is if you've got a computer that's not really good at running lots of plugins and is not particularly fast or is old and cranky, then browser-based stuff is good. It's okay. It allows you to experiment and do things. The bad news is that you're entirely reliant on it there and on their tools. And the big issue with this just at the moment, this particular one, is it's a great looking thing, but it's still not working properly yet. You can't download your own samples, you can't record into it directly. There's a whole bunch of things that it won't allow you to do, but they are developing it. And the thing is, it's free. The reason I mention all of that is that there's Cakewalk by Sonar, which is free, which you do download to your machine. So it's a case of if you want to do some recording on a DAW that's free, you can do it in a browser with with a not very good computer. And if you've got a halfway decent spec computer, you can do it with a free version of Cakewalk, which is brilliant.
Cakewalk at the moment, as far as I'm aware, is only Windows though, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But on the Mac, you have GarageBand.
Yeah.
And you also have a new version which Bandcamp are sticking out of. I can't remember if it's called. It's got a new name, but they're now doing something which is cross-platform.
Okay.
I think that's something you have to pay for. I'm not sure, but it's it works across both platforms. It's a shame Cakewalk. Go on.
I was to say a lot of people will be shouting Reaper because Reaper is shareware. If you want to use it, you have to pay $60. But there are so many people, because they're not stringently sort of policing that. You can just use Reaper and not pay them for it, and just feel bad. But a lot of people
guiltware.
Yeah, guiltware, absolutely.
And the good news about this one is that it's open source as well. You know, I think isn't Bitwig open source? Or didn't it used to be?
No, it's not anymore. It's now a completely commercial product. They have to keep too firm control on it. They can't have people messing with it.
Well, I know that this is open source, and they're looking at bringing things in. So they're looking for people to develop. They have a Discord channel, so I mean it could be interesting for people to get into.
I suppose the real problem with OpenDAW being browser based is, like you said, you can't bring in your own plugins or anything like that. But they do say that they do say that with the offline version you will be able to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm obviously we can't see it, we can't play with it, so we can't really sort of pass comment on it. But I just thought it was, again, slow news week, might be something we could sort of discuss a little bit. I don't know.
Lots of people download freebie apps on their mobiles and on their tablets to make music, right? They just do, and it's kind of. But if that's what they want to do, this gives them an opportunity to do it in a slightly more. The feeling I get from this is they're going to try and bridge the gap between domestic sort of consumer products and a pro product. And this would make this would make a very nice leap between it, as it were, between those two things.
Didn't Studio One have a free?
No, it was not. It was completely free if you bought a piece of their hardware.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see.
So if you bought a mixer or an interface or anything like that, even their cheapest one, you would get a copy of Studio One Artist. The thing about Studio One Artist is it's completely functional, except it does not let you import any third-party plugins. You can only use the effects and virtual instruments that come with it, which were not bad, I might add. There, some of them, the Mojito synthesizer is quite good, but that's sort of the limitation. And basically, what they're doing is they're getting you in the door, and they're getting people used to using the Studio One architecture. And then when all your friends tell you about this cool new synth plugin that you can't use, that's when you pony up for a copy of Studio One Pro.
Yeah.
It's actually quite a clever path, and it works really well. It helps a little that Studio One is actually a pretty damn solid DAW.
Yeah. I know people who've ditched Pro Tools in favor of it.
I know a lot of people who ditched Cubase in favor of it, because the people who designed it were among the original Cubase developers.
Right.
And it has been said by absolutely no one who can prove anything that the reason they left to form Studio One with PreSonus is because they had a lot of really good code ideas that were simply, if they had tried to apply them to the Cubase existing code base, something would have broken really, really badly. And they didn't want to give it up. So there's that.
There we go.
And there are other ones there's the Harrison Mix Bus, which I got into fairly early on. I loved the sound of the Harrison Mix Bus, but God, since they've been taken over by the same, by SSL, it is almost impossible to get the bloody thing to run properly. And it's a real pain. And
Andrew, it's Ardor. All it is Ardor with fancy makeup and lipstick.
Yeah.
Ardor.
Ardour, the open source DAW that was mentioned.
Very popular on Linux back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah,
never heard of it.
It was mentioned on the video that Robbie played just now. There's a real open source DAW out there. Just look at Ardor. And basically, Harrison Mix Bus is Ardor with some extra processing layers to give it the Harrison sound. Basically.
And it does sound good.
Oh, it really
does sound good. It does sound good, but I can't use it anymore, which is a shame, because I keep on paying for these upgrades, and now I can't. I'm so done with it.
But I suppose as a way of, if somebody wants to get into making music with a computer, and there's a free option that means that they don't have to install any software, they can just use it in the browser. And I'm assuming that's how it works. I don't know because we don't have it to play around with.
And if it's in a browser, presumably you can run it on a tablet or on your phone.
Yeah.
64-bit browser, Chrome, bang.
One would imagine. So
there's there's a certain utility to that also, having it be cross-platform. What I'd like to know personally is whether or not you can take your projects either as mixes or tracks or stems and export them. Because if it was something that you could carry around with you and develop ideas on, you weren't already stuck into another ecosystem like Ableton, because now, of course, they have Ableton Note, which you can move into the Ableton Live and Ableton Move. If you want to have something that's a little bit more generic, if you were to add the ability to move your material offline and do something else with it. Yeah. Does anybody even remember OMF?
I still use it.
Well, yeah, but you're 10,000 years older than sand.
10,000. Thank you, Dad.
Just letting you know, Kent, I'm not quite conceding the field to you for metaphors just yet.
Not yet, no.
10,000 years older than the sand. That might be another. Yeah, I'm going to register that. So anyway, no, I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have. It's a good thing to have, and if it gives people access to making music in their own way, it's good. They have said in the blurb, if you read the blurb, they have said they're developing all sorts of things like VSTs and the ability to import your samples, and I think some sort of exchange format. But that's all in the future. So
and
stay
all
with
on
it.
The offline version, yeah.
Yeah, and all we can do is wish them well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
they're
absolutely.
not hurting anybody.
No. You mentioned Ableton Move.
Yes, I
there
did,
just now, and a little while ago or today, should I say, they released version 1.3 of the Ableton Move firmware. I've not played with one of these yet, but my editor at Gear News says he absolutely loves it, and so I'm probably going to pop my cherry at Superbooth and get my hands on one of these. But the new firmware introduces two key things. One is sampling audio via the USB-C port, which I'm sure is incredibly useful. Another improvement is that it now sends MPE out. Sorry, not MPE, sorry, polyphonic aftertouch out. So you can play expressively when using external MIDI controllers. Yeah, and there's just a few other little bits and bobs in there. But this seems to be, something that a lot of people are really sort of excited about. This move. Go on. Yeah, go ahead.
The Rocky Mountain Synthesizer Meet, which at least a few people in here, like Ace of Stripe, are members of, has a couple of movers and shakers who do a lot with Ableton. Mark Mosier, who runs the meet, is an Ableton beta tester and gets new versions of Live and the push and everything before anybody does. He and a local music professor named Langdon Crawford have gotten their hands on the Move. They got very early units, and they went in really deep. And what they discovered is these machines are not only incredibly fun to play and really, really high quality for the money, but if you dig deep enough into the existing feature set, even before 1.3, you can really do a lot with them. Probably the only complaint that I'm seeing that is really substantive that a lot of people have is that the number of synth engines is limited. You get code compatible versions. I think it's Drift and Wavetable are the only, and drum racks. So you don't get the whole live experience with all of their different synths. For example, you might get Operator, but I don't know if you do. And Robbie, if it turns out that the thing can't do FM, feel free to send it to me. I'll give you 20 quid for it. But I've been tempted. I do a fair bit in the Ableton environment. I'm a huge proponent of Ableton Link. I do have Live, although I don't use it much anymore. I've owned a Push and a Push 2. I'm not going to a Push 3 because I've got other MPE devices now. But this just looks like a really nifty gizmo. I have to say, personally, for me right now, it's no way I can do it because I just bought a plane ticket to Berlin.
Yay.
So set aside some money, Robbie, so I can take you out to dinner.
It better be a ton of money.
Yeah. and B, really for me, it's sort of a toss up right now between the Move and the Polyend synth, which I had a chance to play with it.
That's a great piece of kit.
Oh my God. I had a chance to play with it at Buchla and Friends the weekend. We Don't Need NAMM Anymore. Come play with our synthesizers event that happened on NAMM weekend in LA. And my God, that thing sounds good. Wow.
It does.
But if you want to get, if you want to try the Ableton thing, and they really know how to do this, thanks to Push, they really know how to do that kind of user
interconnected
interface
and control. Yeah.
And
what's the vortex in the back? Where did the vortex come from?
What vortex?
Behind you.
Talk about off at a tangent.
Alesis vortex.
Oh, the vortex. That is a real jump there, Andrew. Shouldn't we let other people comment on the Move before we go back to that? Because I'm happy to.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, I was going to say I was quite interested in the Move because I was quite interested in the Push 3. And the Push 3, I looked at it and I thought, well, I can either get it with or without the processor.
Without.
And I thought, yeah, I'll go. And then I thought, no, I'll want to use. So then it became a little bit too expensive for me. Not that I travel a lot. Let's be honest. But I'm always one of these things. If there are two options and one is the same as the other one, but it has more, that's the one that I will end up wanting and regret not buying. So I don't know. I'm going to have a play with this, a serious play with it at Super Booth, I think, because I don't think I'm going anywhere before then that will have one. And maybe I'll make my mind up then.
It's a very nice machine. It's a different approach than the synth. It's important for people to realize that when two of these machines are released within 6 weeks of each other, the development teams probably haven't been looking over each other's shoulders and been racing to a deadline. So the Polyend guys and the Ableton guys had two very different goals. And these machines are designed for the two different goals. I could easily see using both of them.
Yeah. And I remember we gave the Push certainly a very favourable review, and we were all kind of excited. But doing that, do we go for the non-processor or the processor one?
You don't go for the processor. You're asking for no future proofing.
Well, yeah.
That's my attitude. It's always going to be a good MPE controller. But what happens if Ableton stops building the plug-in processor modules? What happens if 3 years from now, 4 years from now, you've got this whole workflow?
Kent. That's what happens.
What? You end up stuck in a house with 8 cats and 15 dogs?
Yeah.
Of course, I wouldn't call that stuck. I love cats and dogs. But anyway.
So there you go. Just thought I'd throw that one in there because, again, we are pushing for time to fill up the time. But yeah, Ableton Move. I'm not even going to bother coming to you, Kent, because this really isn't your thing, is it?
You know as well as I do, there is only one door and it's Cubase. Everything else is crap.
There's only one door.
And you may piss off with it. I don't care what it does, what it doesn't do, how much it costs. There's only Cubase. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Move on.
No, move on. And move on we shall.
Move on.
Let's see. What else can we
Andrew,
do here?
The Vortex was donated to me.
Go then.
By someone who simply didn't want it anymore, and I'm going to be redirecting it to a school educational program, which is why it's still in the box. I do not want it in my Keytar collection.
Question answered.
There we go.
How about we get to the top of the first hour of the show, shall I say?
Thank God for the Wasp filter.
Yeah, turn your phone off. Let's do something where we can have a bit of a breather. So I was sent this one this week by a gentleman. Let me just get all the details. I'm just so his name is Tieran Kimber, and he's from Australia. Talking of Australia, we've just had a donation in from our very dear friend Steve Bastard.
Steve-o.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Steve. You're an
I don't know if this
absolute
was mentioned
beaut.
before, but Matt Evans, thank you very much as well. Merry Christmas. So we do have a fairly significant Australian contingent that watch the show. So we're very glad of that. It's always great to reach around the world. A reach around is always very good. So let's play this. This is Tieran Kimber and his Synthspirations. And if you want to know how to submit your own, wait until after this. But here we go. Here's Tieran and his Synthspirations.
Resplendent.
G'day, Robbie and the Pro Synth Network. My name's Tieran. I live just on the outside of Melbourne, and I thought, being inspired by your Synthspiration series, I'd send you up one from down under just to show how wide your network is. My Synthspiration is a three-part story. The first part is actually really about some Synthspirers, in that in my first couple of years at a out-of-the-way high school in the northern suburbs of Melbourne, there were a couple of proggy, hippie music teachers, and for some reason they taught us wayward kids how to splice tape, how to play guitar, and just by chance they had a couple of mono synthesizers. I don't know how on earth they had those in the school. It wasn't exactly a school flush with money, but we had a Yamaha CS5 and a Korg MS10, and they taught us how to do synthesis on those and how to play music in general. It was a great start. At the same time, I was obviously exposed already to a whole lot of electronic music with a father with broad music tastes, and our local radio station here, a community radio station, 3PBS FM, which you can still find on the internet. There were a couple of programs on that radio station. One, the Electronic Influence, and the second one, the Progressive Rock Show, that played all of the classics we know and love, from Jarre to Vangelis, Genesis, and plenty more. So from that background, we sort of move into part two of my Synthspiration, which was in January of 1985. We went on a family holiday, as we did every year, up into the south coast of southern New South Wales, where my grandparents lived. And obviously had to keep entertained for the 7 or 8 hour drive up there, and had a Walkman with some tapes to keep myself entertained. So it just so happened that for Christmas on that occasion, I got the Zuluk from album from Jarre. And while that was inspiring, that sort of leads me through to the handmade tape I had, which did have Oxygen on it as well, but it had another odd one, which was the Pentateuch of the Cosmogony from Dave Greenslade. Now, while that maybe doesn't stand so well in the test of time musically, this is the album cover if you haven't seen it before. It's very proggy electronic stuff, a whole concept album. I'll just show you a short video here of flicking through the pages quickly. It's a book of some spaceship saving humanity, going to Jupiter. You can see it all described on the internet if you're curious. But the inspiring thing was just the sound of this album. And if you look on the back page, which I can show you here, there's a huge range of incredible synthesizer technology from the time, including ARPs, Moogs, Prophets, all sorts of things, Yamahas, CS80s, CS60s, all sorts of things. And really it was the sound of that album that stuck in my mind and stuck with me forever to keep me inspired. Now, at the same time, just moving into the later 80s with teenage parties, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation had a program called Rage, which played late into the night with all of the video clips. Now, they were looking for lots of content, So the second synthspiration I'm going to put forward is Severed Heads, who are an Australian electronic outfit playing sort of alternative electro pop electronic sort of stuff. And they got well known because of their incredible video clips that were pretty innovative for the time. So you can check those out on YouTube if you're interested. But they set the tone, and despite not being in the top 10 pop kind of vibe that would normally be played on some of those MTV type programs, their video clips sent them up that they did have a couple of well-known tracks back in the time, and their use of electronic devices was quite inspiring as well. So I'll leave you with both of those as my inspirations: the Severed Heads, the Australian band, and Dave Greenslade with the Pentateuch of the Cosmogony. Catch you all later.
There we go. That was Tieran's wonderful
Very
inspirations.
nice.
Yeah, I have to say Zuluk was a big one for me as well.
Oh yeah,
definitely for sure. But never heard of Severed Heads before.
they're a very interesting band. Not very common, and I don't know a lot about their music, but the little bits that I've heard has been really good. So they're worth chasing down on one of the streaming services or YouTube or whatever.
Absolutely. But yeah, nice one, Tieran. Well done. Thank you very much.
Woohoo!
Tieran did say to me in his email when he sent that through that it's about 6 or 7 a.m. in Melbourne right now, and so he probably won't be watching live, but he will be watching on catch up. So hello there, Tieran. You're already in the future, but you're even probably however that works. Anyway, so if you want to do a Synthspirations video, then this is what you got to do. We want to know what music inspired you to make music with synthesizers. Be it an album, single, or an entire artist's body of work, we want you to tell us why it inspired you, and given that we're a synth show, which instruments used on that album really made an impact. All you need to do is film yourself talking about your synthspiration for a few minutes, and we'll feature it on the show and discuss it. Send your video clips along with your name or handle to prosynthnetwork@gmail.com using a file sharing service like WeTransfer, and you could feature on a ProSynth Network live show soon. There you go. That's all you got to do is film your video. It doesn't have to be professional. It just can be just a camera, like a phone. Please don't use the actual music, because that will just get us a copyright strike. But tell us what inspired you to make music with synthesizers. I just got a couple of 7-inches here that came through today.
Woohoo!
So this is Kraftwerk. This is 50 years old. 50. How old do you feel? 50 flipping years old.
Is that the original single mix version?
This is the original single mix version with Comet and Melody 2 on the B-side. But they're
that's
reissuing
a good one,
this
actually.
album.
That's one of my favorites of their early stuff, actually.
They're reissuing the whole album, and they're also doing a Blu-ray with the original mixes and plus a Dolby Atmos and 5.1 mix, which I'm interested to hear. Another one that you should, at the moment, you can only get this if you buy the magazine. This is the magazine, Electronic Sound, made in Norwich, and also co-hosts of Synth East next week in Norwich. This is the Art of This, and it is essentially 3/5 of the original Art of Noise. JJ Exarlic, our friend, Gary Langan, and Paul Morley have released some new material. It's on grey vinyl. If you buy the magazine, if you buy the magazine 7-inch pack, it costs about £14, I think.
I should ask you to grab me one of those.
A couple of new tracks on there. It's very interesting, and they're coming back. The Art of Noise have always kind of come and gone, and they've come under different names and stuff. It feels like this one is actually going to be much more truer to the original Art of Noise, but we shall see. More to come.
So if
from
it's
them.
3/5 of the original outfit, is that the Art of No?
That's the Art of This.
No, that's the Art of Noi.
Noi.
Yeah.
Now you're getting into Northern Irish. The Art of Noi.
Either that or Krautrock.
Talking of the Art of Noise, I booked tickets today to go and see Trevor Horn on his kind of talking tour that he's doing in November. So I'm quite excited about that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I said to the wife, shall we do meet and greet? I don't normally do meet and greets because I always get a little bit kind of conscious and I don't like. And she says, "Oh, fuck it, go on. It's Valentine's Day, do it." So I bought some meet and greets. I've just realised that if I go down like this, at a certain angle, it looks like my head's just floating in blackness. Anyway, very self-conscious.
You should wear a PSN shirt to that show and get a picture with Trevor.
Well, I will. I probably will. I've ordered a whole bunch. That UPS sent one of my deliveries because a lot of the deliveries got split. UPS sent one of my deliveries today to Gloucester. And they said, "We're very sorry, your package is going to be delayed." Yeah, I'm on the other side of the flipping country. Anyway, yeah, more stuff coming in from them.
Well,
from the
You
motion
might
people.
be from round the air, do you? Be you?
Indeed. Right, okay, let's do some more. Now, we spoke recently about that thing right there, which is the Behringer Wave, which is their take on the PPG Wave, and a very good take it is too. But there has been... why did I do that? There has been a new thing that has come out, and God, this is modular again. I'm going to get slaughtered. But this is actually the first product to officially bear the PPG logo for many, many years. This from Cornell Hecht in conjunction with Liquid Sky Europe is the PPG W2.2 x4. It's a dual wavetable oscillator with all the Wave 2.2 wavetables, available with a blue faceplate or with a black faceplate, limited to 127 models, I believe. It retails for a cool 595 British pounds.
What?
But it's,
Well, it's basically a Wave 2.2 without all the good analog stuff.
yeah, which you can then choose to feed through yourself, because that's what modular people do, innit?
What's the
Apparently.
times 4 for?
I don't really know, because this is a module, and I didn't really get too into it. So this is the first release that features the PPG Wave, like the official, is made under license. And I'll tell you a little thing that I learned about that when we get to the end of it. So it's it features all the wavetables. It's got the oscillator. I guess it's 4 oscillators. I don't know. Each oscillator is equipped with a sub-bass generator, overdrive, and a built-in VCA, delivering the classic PPG sound. There is a limited edition of 127 with a black front panel, or the standard, and shipping will start before Super Booth. So hopefully we'll see one of these in Berlin, which of course, well, PPG weren't Berlin, were they? Were they Hamburg or?
I thought it was Hamburg.
Yeah, I think it was Hamburg, wasn't it? Yeah, I was going to say it's.
Weren't they Waldorf?
What? Sorry.
Waldorf came after PPG.
No, but I thought they were in Waldorf. PPG was in Waldorf. I thought that's where the band's name, the company's name came from. But I could be completely wrong.
You're obsessed by salad. You're obsessed by salad.
Oh, absolutely. But that's because
Red Walk says,
there are lots of jokes. Not
Red Walk says more Hamburg, and Red Walks is German. So we'll go with that. I don't know who. By the by. If you're into modular, you can have that PPG sound in your modular. Unfortunately, there are no videos. There's no audio demonstration of this, so we can't tell you what it sounds like. But given my reacquaintance with all things wavetably with the Behringer Wave, it will sound, I think, rather nice. But there you go. It's 595. A lot of people have been saying, "Blimey, that's a lot of money." I don't know, because I'm not really into this world. So.
that's on the high end for any Euro rack module.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon if you're talking about stuff that has a lot of digital memory in it, stuff that has a very elaborate feature set. But 600 pounds is on the edge.
Yes. Well, when you think about the fact that if you spend £600, you can get a Behringer Wave and change.
Into what?
A playable instrument with a proper keyboard.
That tutu you've
That's very true.
on.
Yeah.
That's very, very true. I mean, I'm just wondering about this times 4. If it's 4 oscillators, how do you with control voltages? There doesn't appear to be any way of selecting different oscillators at the same time. So
It's their way of saying it's actually a Wave 2.4.
You think?
Times 2.2 times 4. I'd just be really interested to hear that. I mean, it's really good to see this in modular format, but there are other things out there that are already doing wavetable synthesis, lots of them. So what justifies the 600 quid? I'm sure it's, if it's a full blown thing, great. I'm all for it. But is this the only way in and out of it? In which case, is it actually monophonic, or what's the? I don't quite understand it. I don't quite understand the thing. And you, Ken, what do you think about this?
Not a lot, to be honest.
It's the detail I love.
Yeah. Well, I got
the depth.
Yeah, there's nothing to go on, is there?
No, we've got nothing to listen to.
You could have. Yeah. What you should have done is just gone. There's this thing. It'll be out soon. We'll let you know.
Yeah, quite right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about synthesizer that we still can't hear, because again, I don't believe there are any demos of this one. But I think we know what this could possibly sound like. Okay. So here we have. This is the Acme XP60, which is, ladies and germs, a recreation of the Oberheim expander.
You're not going to catch Roadrunner with that.
So there we go. This is what it is. We've got nothing to go on in terms of sound or any sort of video. It looks a nice little box. It's got wood end cheeks. There we go. It's going to definitely sound more analog then. That's the insides of it right there. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've got nothing to go on here.
Can you zoom in on those boards?
Let's bring that up there. Which one in particular are you looking at?
Well, any one of those what looks like a voicing board.
Ken is using the CEM 3374 dual VCO and the 3372 VC.
VCF?
VCF.
Well, where the hell are they getting them from?
All I know is that my brain has just short-circuited. It's not quite a meme on the level of Andrew once having worked for EMU or the fact that PSN has merch. But I ran the Oberheim Expander user group for Oberheim, and I owned an expander for 34 years. And I sold it for reasons that I would be happy to talk about, but not in a time-limited format. And the fact that they are doing this, that they're doing a component level recreation of the expander, my brain has just broken, because I'm looking at this and all the neurons in the back of my head are going, I want to know what it sounds like. Just like, yikes. Absolutely yikes. And hello, Dina. Yes, you do hear my voice.
I want to know where they got the SEM 3372s from.
Curtis Electronics isn't making them anymore, Kent. I had thought that they were still current stock, but you'd know way more than me.
No, I had to scour the planet for a month to find one for an expander.
Well,
so where the hell are these coming from?
Behringer?
It's possible, isn't it?
Well,
but they're still calling them SEMs?
They're calling them CEMs, yeah, SEMs.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They're also, they have sort of acknowledged, as far as I can tell, they've acknowledged that there were some, shall we say, limitations with the operating system.
Oh, yeah, I saw that go scroll by.
But they're hoping to, at some point, fix all of that. So I loved this machine, and I loved the sound of it, and I loved the modulation. And, the 12 is just a bigger one of these, isn't it?
Well,
twice as many voices,
and a couple of software bugs thrown in.
Yeah, some more. So the fact that they are
calibration procedure this side of the CERN Hadron Collider.
Really?
Oh, it took feckin' ages.
Yeah, they're
So you were a user. You ran a user group for it, and you owned one for 30 odd years.
Oh yeah, 30 very odd.
So you're clearly a fan of the sound, right?
Oh, you could say that, yeah.
So this is good. This is a good thing.
Well, it is. I will point out one or two things. I'm reading off of chat and talking to you guys. The Matrix 6 is not the same as the Expander. It uses different oscillator chips, and its modulation capabilities are much more limited. It's a great sounding instrument, but it's not an Expander. The Matrix 12 was 2 Expander voice boards and an updated firmware that introduced a couple of interesting bugs and at least one hardware bug, which is fascinating. But this was a machine, people, the Expander is why I don't do Eurorack or any other modular. When the Expander came around, I'd been doing nothing but modular for the first 5-6 years of my career. And then the Expander came along and it was like, it remembers patches, it stays stable, no cabling, and it plays chords. Yeah, FTS IO. That was it. There was no reason for me to ever go back. That machine cured my modular Jones for over 30 years. Because it really, if you look at I tried to recreate it in Nord Modular and gave up when I was about 60% of the way in. It's an amazing machine, so far ahead of its time. And the sound was gorgeous. I've always been an Oberheim fan. That is my analog, as opposed to Sequential or Moog or, well, I like ARP. But that machine was it for me. That machine was my career. And if you ever listen to any of the albums I did from the mid-'80s all the way until right before the pandemic, the Expander was all over them.
Kent, do you see many of these in the workshop?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, its computer should have been strangled at birth, personally. These always have problems. They got those vacuum displays, and you get bloody one digit wink out or something like that.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. The power supply is how would you describe it?
Bad.
Yeah. It's a power supply that eats itself. It could be noisy, but 9 times out of 10 it just stopped working. But on the other hand, that when it worked, and I was very lucky, I got one of the very early builds that were not built in Japan. I got one of the ones that actually came from Barrington Avenue, and it was solid for 30 years. And but what happens is you get to the point where you walk into your studio and you look at it, and the urge to create with it is now warring with, oh my God, what happens if I turn it on and a voice won't tune, or one tiny segment on the vacuum fluorescent displays has gone out? And I just looked at it and I said, this thing is now stopping me from making music. Thank you for your service. And I got a very good price for it. And I sold it to a guy who actually knew how to get into it and keep it working. And I haven't missed it. Yeah. But a brand new machine, the one thing that actually worries me a little is that if it's really using all the original components, yeah, great. But the original components, hopefully a better power supply. But again, CEM chips, where are you going to get them? Yeah.
They've got an initial run of 50 units, which they're working on by the look of it.
Well, it's certainly not...
They've got an opportunity
new old
to
stock
fix.
Because it's certainly not new old stock, because there have been for the last 2 years no 3372s available on the planet.
Yep.
Didn't matter where you went.
Well,
so this is a new batch from somewhere.
Yep.
By somebody.
It says here that these are reissued CEMs. Says Wagyu. One quick question that somebody had going by. Wagyu says, I've never seen a VFD die. No, you don't get an entire VFD dying. You get one of the 350 little tiny segments dying. So you can no longer display the letter R or something like that. And then the whole display has to be replaced, and they're a nightmare.
Yeah. They did make an LCD replacement for it, but it's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. And like I've said before on here, from my experience, working on both the Matrix 12 and the Matrix 6 is very much like changing a baby's nappy blindfolded. It's just one of those things where you're just going to end up with crap all over the place, basically.
Well, this has got 3 LCD screens, so it's LCD. So
there was no way they were going to use VFDs. You can't even get them that small.
Can't get them anymore. They don't bother making them.
But I like the idea. The only other thing I'll leave out there for people to think about is that Oberheim, in its current incarnation, has re-trademarked the word expander. We don't know anything about why. It may just be that they were putting up a tent to keep certain other people from grabbing the name. But that name is now the property of Oberheim again. And we have no idea where that might go. Marcus Ryle is playing it very close to the
Well,
vest.
I'm very intrigued to find out where they're getting these 3372s from, because the last one I bought to fix funnily enough, a 6-voice expander was 340 quid plus shipping, with no guarantee of whether it would work when it got here.
Wow.
Drop them an email.
Get in touch. Never know.
Yeah. Just if it's a small enough group, then they'll probably happily tell you. Unless, they've actually been stealing expanders and Matrix 12s and lobotomizing them in the back room.
It's a rather costly way of doing it. What's a 12 go for now?
Exactly.
10k?
Yeah, but it does say they are reissued CEMs. So
Yeah, but reissued by whom?
And it would be in bulk, because it's
Actually,
not
it doesn't
cost
say
effective
reissues,
to
it
just make
says
500 of them.
it says clones.
So maybe
It says clones.
Wait a minute.
Cool.
A clone that says CEM on the pack? That seems a little weird.
Unless that's the prototype and they're actually using SEMs.
Oh, good possibility.
And the reissues are not in the photos yet. But I do like the idea of them plugging the voices into a main board. I do like that. That's nice. As opposed to one circuit board that was 9 feet long.
Yeah, well, it certainly makes it easier to swap in and out. We might even see, they might find it's cheaper to offer them with 2 voices or 4 voices, the way Oberheim used to do with the OBXA.
Yeah.
Plug in a board, get 2 more
OBX,
voices.
wasn't it? Yeah, individual voices, yeah.
Going back to your point about registering trade names, I think, we don't know what Oberheim are going to do, but I think it's very wise of them to do that. As was evidenced a few weeks ago when there was a lot of hoo-ha about ASM registering this name of Leviasynth and them coming out and saying, we just registered the name, nothing's coming. We just thought it was a good name and thought, hey, we'll hang on to that. And so it makes sense, but especially with legacy stuff. I found out when I was looking into that PPG module, they said this is the first product since PPG went kaput, the first hardware product that has borne the PPG logo, and then in brackets it says PPG logo under license from Native Instruments.
Oh, Native Instruments owner.
Yeah. So apparently, what happened was Plugin Alliance bought the rights to use the name some while ago, and then of course Plugin Alliance was then swallowed up by this kind of umbrella company that owns Native Instruments and Isotope, and now of course Brainworks and Plugin Alliance. So now it's owned by Native Instruments, which I thought was interesting. I wasn't aware that had happened. But there you go. It's funny how these things go. 'Cause I was hoping that, because I think if you notice, if you look at the Waldorf PPG Wave plugin, the PPG 3.V, it doesn't bear the PPG logo like it used to.
Yeah.
I should probably explain it.
Yeah.
So Deadman Walking says only 2 companies can reissue Alpha and Cool Audio, but they don't. It's very expensive to reissue chips. You need to market the product first to justify the
Yeah.
way for layouts. It'd be interesting to know where they're getting their stuff from.
Yeah.
I will ask
Manny,
my
you
colleague.
missed an expander clone. You'll
Let's
just
put it
have
up.
to watch back. You'll have to read back.
Let's bring it back for him.
And someone in comments did mention that they talked about using prototyped chips, and it may be that those are the chips that are actually plugged into the board for the photographs. So
yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
but wow, that is a pretty, and they've got LED ringed encoders. That is a very, very pretty little box.
So just on the chip front, it says, in fact, in the article on Gear News, it says Malik, the person that owns this, built a prototype with the original oscillator ICs and did a blind comparison with the clones of the CEM 3374 and the 3372s, and he says it sounds identical. So clearly it is a clone or a new source. Whether or not that's because of Behringer or whoever, who knows, but it's good to know they're out there. Maybe some, it'd be really good to get them, to get some, Kent, for you.
Yeah, well, it's come a year too late.
Yeah, it's the Acme
Cost
thing.
an arm and a leg
Manny.
to get that bloody thing repaired.
They are going to have to use the original firmware in response to Manny's question. They are going to be using the original firmware, but it seems to intimate they're going to be updating that at some point and getting rid of their little foibles.
Yeah, hopefully they can speed up the calibration process. Because normally by the time it's calibrated, you can't remember what the bloody hell you wanted to play on it.
Well, mine calibrated really fast. Mine, you hit the button, you go and you open a can of seltzer, you turn around, it was ready.
Yours was broken.
No, it was glorious.
No. It takes forever to tune those filters and the resonance.
If you, I don't know, 90 seconds for the entire run through?
There's something wrong with yours. You sure it had 6 voices in it?
Yes, it had 6 voices in it, and it worked beautifully. No, what I'm concerned about is that
You're talking about the Wasp, aren't you?
Yeah, right. No, what I'm worried about is Dead Man Walking just said something about a Metley clone.
No.
It was yes. As
I'm
if.
sure that was mentioned in the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, it says here, Metley clone is okay.
I think it might have been. There should have been a comma in there, maybe somewhere, like a Metley comma.
Please,
the clone is okay.
Please,
I don't know.
nobody needs more of me. No. Certainly not me.
One is too many.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Many would agree with you, sir.
Right,
I
Put
love
up
that.
with it, Mike.
yeah, interesting. Look, it's not in production yet, so more later is all we can really say about that.
And
at the
I
moment.
just have to ask Robbie, did Malik say anywhere about any trade show or synth get together where they might have a prototype to be shown?
All it says here is pricing and availability. The Acme XP60 is still some way off. Malik still needs to optimize some of the electronics, blah, 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 blah. Because of this, it's hard to say when it'll be ready, blah, blah, blah. He's planning a small initial run of 50 units, blah, blah, blah. Prices to be decided. No. In short,
Crud. Well,
the other thing will be that these 33 72s and 74s are going to be in SMT format and not in through hole like they got in the
That's
picture.
that's actually, look at the board. I'm just looking at the board. Yeah.
So he's put the sockets in because he's ripped the chips out of another Matrix 6 or whatever to knock up the prototype. So he at least has the sound and filter sources.
But eventually, those are going to have to be SMDs, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to be SMT. Yeah, absolutely. Well, like the rest of it is.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to believe that it is possible to clone an SMD version of these through-hole chips and not sacrifice sound. But what do I know? I don't do this stuff for a living. I just think that SMD is the way of the future. And, one of the things I saw at the NAMM show was for about 9,000 pounds, you can actually get a layout in your studio, which will let you pick and place your own pick and place your own SMD boards for prototyping and small runs. So that's where we're going.
So what's the difference between, I mean, I'm asking people that are not familiar with this machine, but these appear to be 6 voice boards.
Yeah.
Some are in dark green, some are in light green. The ones that are in dark green are all sporting socketed 3372s and 3374s, but the others are not.
No.
The others are all using SMT technology.
It may be that we're seeing 4 of the prototyping boards and 2 early production models.
Yeah.
Well, if I remember rightly, and I'm just trying to draw on my shit memory, but I think a 3374 is a dual VCO, and it's technically 2 3340s. Now, if you look at the green card, the green boards, you see 2 chips. They could be 2 3340 AS.
So that's how he's getting around that.
Yeah. But further down that board, see that bugger there? That must be the 3372 SMT clone.
Yeah.
That's very, very interesting.
So the black ones were his prototype.
Yeah.
And now he's got these cloned boards have come through and added them to it as well.
And you'll notice that some of the other components, the capacitors and so forth, the circuit trace boards are close but not identical. And you know, he has certain components that are identical. A lot of the caps.
Well, the caps are through hole on the black boards, but they're SMT on the green. So the green boards are what it's going to look like when it launches its 50 products.
Wow. Well, it's obvious that he's got it going on. He's got it going on.
It is twin 3340s because he has a scale and tune trim pot for each chip.
Nice.
Which is interesting. That means that the through-hole ones rely more on the software than the other one, than the new ones, because they've got trimmers on them.
Interesting. Well, we don't know if the trimmers are going to be in the final production model.
True enough.
You know,
but it might have to be if they're 3340s. Otherwise, you'll have to have a resistor array for the software to be able to measure each individual VCO correctly. Yes, I can. do I now freeze and go black and white? Which is actually and then they play.
You know, who are you?
No, what are you?
No, this is very interesting.
Yeah.
It's a good it's a good machine to clone, and it looks like he's keeping it within the scope of the original designs.
Yes.
It would be very difficult for it not to sound like the original Matrix 6.
Yeah, the software was incredibly complex, but by modern standards, the hardware of the voicing, you know, it was groundbreaking at the time, but a lot of that came from the software modulation. The real key there was the multi-mode filter on a chip, which Marcus got Curtis to make and sell only to him for the first few months or years of production. I don't remember what the exact agreement was. But yeah, this is great. I am going to be very, very curious about
that. Killed 20 minutes.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, get me on the subject of the expander, and you can kill 20 hours.
Any other synthesizers that we can't hear we can talk about?
Well, there's a controller, but we can have we've actually got a video demonstration. Let's have a quick quick watch of this.
Nuux.
Want one?
Yeah.
I want one.
Okay, so this is new from Nuux or Nuux. I don't know how they want us to pronounce it.
Nuux to
three
you.
three keyboard controllers, 61, 49, and a 37, which you don't often see. It normally goes like 25, 49, 61, and then maybe an 88. But this is from a company that are already kind of well versed in guitars, and as you can see, drums as well. They've now entered into the keyboard market space with the NTX. Let's go. Let's have a quick look at the 60. Oh, what am I doing here?
Redwalk says MPE, and Mike Hunter says SUX.
Yeah. So this is the 61. Now, first of all, we noticed that it has on the right-hand side a trackpad, which doubles up as your mouse control. So that, I think, on its own deserves a little.
Yeah.
Because how often do you take your trackpad or your mouse and you can't, you're always having to change levels, and when I say levels, you mean desk levels. So that's interesting that it's got that built in. Then you've got obligatory sort of 8 faders, 8 rotaries, 8 pads,
8.5 pads.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, it is 8.5, isn't it? Yeah. I don't know what that other one does, but you've got kind of built-in controls, transport controls. It looks a very well specified keyboard controller with, as they say, seamless DAW integration with obviously plenty of templates in there: Cubase, Logic, Pro Tools, Nuendo, Ableton, Studio One, Fruity Loops, and what was the other one they had in the end there? GarageBand, or GarageBand for our American cousins. But I kind of like this. So they are a Chinese company. I don't have any idea about the quality of the keybed. It does support aftertouch. It don't think it supports polyphonic aftertouch. But
alas,
it looks quite good. Simple connectivity at the back. One sustained pedal socket, USB, and a single MIDI out. Arpeggiator built in, smart scaling built in, transpose and octave functions. As we mentioned, the touchpad, velocity sensitive pads, semi-weighted keys with regular aftertouch, transport controls, etc., etc.
And Kent is allowed to have one because they ship it with Cubase.
There you go. But it looks an interesting proposition.
It actually is a very, very neat little design. They're not the first people to put a trackpad on a controller. That was Korg.
Yeah, but we don't see it often, do we?
No, we don't. It's an idea that Korg did it badly. It would be nice to see someone do it well.
Yeah, that's disappeared years ago.
Yes.
So it's yeah.
Price would be everything. I really wish they hadn't put the pads on it though, because without trying to be offensive, if you've got pads on your keyboard, it's cheap shit.
Well, how much do you think the 61 key version is going to be? Kent, just have a guess.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't
have a
know.
Guess.
If it was 200 quid.
I'd say 300. Jason Crouch says 479.
Was it the price is right?
Well, the 61 key, €299.
Yep. Boom.
Yep, got it. 300.
That means you've got. I mean, what is really good about this is the trackpad is really good, because if you're and the fact you can control your DAW directly, and you've got the trackpad there, so you're not sort of firkling between keyboard and mice. You've actually got direct control. That's a really big deal. That's a big deal, and that's at 300. It will be what, £250, €299.
Now my question is,
I'd pay 4 if it had poly AT.
I'd be interested in one of the smaller ones, being somebody who does a lot of traveling for music. But my question is, I'm assuming the trackpad also has tap capabilities for mouse clicks.
I would have.
That's what I saw on the on the video. It shows it doing just that,
because it has no buttons.
Tap. Yeah,
which is good. This kind of integration is important. I actually, I've been looking for a new controller keyboard for a long time. One of the downsides of my having taken a personal position against Behringer in my studio is that every once in a while they came up with a really, really, really good product that nobody else was doing. And the Motor 49 with its motorized faders, very inexpensive controller. I don't have it anymore, and I haven't found something that integrates into the system as well as what that did. But having something like this with faders on hand and
it's
coders,
do we think the NTK also refers to it adopting the? Do we think it might be adopting the contact sort of format in terms of
because they'd have to pay licensing for that?
Oh, the pads are velocity sensitive, but they're not pressure sensitive. That's annoying. When I helped Samson design the Graphite 49, I got them to put poly aftertouch on all the pads. But that was a long time ago.
Thing is, you know, we often kind of these things, the QWERTY keyboards that, you know, get in the way everywhere. I'm always looking for something that might just replace that. And it's all big boxes. This is small enough. Yeah, I know I've got small ones as well, but that's because I'm a, you know,
we don't talk about
Moving on.
A eunuch. But it's small enough. You know, you've got the small one and the 61 kit. It's all in one thing. I like this. And at that price, I have to say it's really tempting. It's really tempting as a, you know.
And I've got actually probably just about enough room for the 37 key one in front of my workstation set up right here. And it's definitely something I'd want to look into. And right now I've got my Mini Freak there. I wish it had poly aftertouch, but it doesn't, so I could live with it. I'd actually be very curious to try one of these. I really would.
Having that on top of this. Where's my camera? Follow me, you basket. Come on. Yeah, if I had... There we go. If I had one here, that would give us that would give me just, you know, the perfect mix of playability here and control of the system. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Faders, knobs.
It's a bit misleading though, isn't it?
As in?
Well, in the video, he wiggles the key.
Yeah, I was going to come to that.
That's not how the aftertouch is working.
No, but the funny thing is...
I do that on the 80s sometimes. You know,
I do that as well.
Like that, yeah, but it's not doing that.
It's not doing side-to-side thing, but no, it's just giving it up and down velocity.
Yeah, it's not an osmos or anything like
bend.
That, no. It's kind of misleading from that point of view.
But it's not, you know, 299 quid for the 61 key. That's good. You know, I'd imagine it's going to be about 150 or something for the 37. 200.
Yeah, about that. 150, probably. Then 200, then 250 for the big one.
You see, ideally, if I don't have to use a trackpad or a mouse to operate my Cubase, like in the beautiful heady days when you used to be able to get the CMC controller, you could do everything from there, and I just have it sitting there, and I've got my keyboard and go do this, do that, do that, and they dropped the support for it. There's no support for Windows anymore. There is no support whatsoever for Macs whatsoever. But the controllers exist, and it's still as useful as they'd ever be if they made the drivers.
Kent, are you using the Slate Digital thing now, the Raven?
At the moment, it is installed, but it's not touching. There's something still not right between the two.
Oh, hell's bells.
Yeah. So I have this 28-inch 10-touch screen that I can use to operate my Cubase, but can't at the moment. And it's part of how the USBs are set up. So I've got to rip the whole fucking line out again. I've got to do it again.
Again, the 16th time this week.
Yeah, but I've got to get all the work out of the way before I can take it all apart again.
I don't know if folks can see this on camera, but this is a new Windows PC I just bought. It's got an N97 processor, and it has a bunch of connectivity. I got it for some client work that I'm doing, and I am afraid to turn it on because I was told by my dear departed friend Darwin Gross, his memory should be for a blessing, that if I were ever to use a Windows PC, the world would end. Because I was such an amazing maladroit getting started with any computer that he said me and Windows would probably open the crust of the earth.
I think that's already happened since the last election.
Yeah, could I make it any worse?
Exactly.
Good point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Switch it on.
Switch it. Oh my God.
Now I have to think about stuff like, never mind, not going there.
Not going.
But
Yeah, don't do that.
Nuux controllers available to order soon.
Nuux to you.
That's what I call my girlfriend.
Nuux controllers.
Anyway, that's kind of the end of the news. But I did want to mention this because I will not be here next week. When I say I won't be here, I'm not departing. I just won't be on the show. So next week I'm going to be at this event. Let's bring this up onto the screen. There we go. It's Synth East next weekend. I can't believe it's come round this quickly.
Yeah, it's quick, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So this is a 3-day event. Starts on Friday with a screening of Mark Reeder's brilliant film about Berlin between 79 and 89. It's called B Movie. And it's a brilliant documentary movie that is. I've got it on Blu-ray. I watch it frequently. I've sat and watched it with Mark as well. It's just a brilliant thing, and I can't wait to watch it again with an audience of people. So that's on the Friday, followed by an interview on stage with John Fox, no less, interviewed by the great Adam Buxton. So it's going to be a really interesting Friday evening. And then, of course, on Saturday is the Synth Expo, as they call it, which is, I think it's doors open at 10 a.m., goes through to about 5 p.m., and it's at the Norwich Arts Centre, the same venue as everything else. And you'll be able to come around and see lots of manufacturers with their new goodies and maybe some strange synth YouTube channels, such as ProSynth Network. I'll be there with Peter James Stephen. We'll have some vintage Yamaha gear, and we're going to be set up next to Yamaha themselves, who are co-presenting with the wonderfully named PMT retailers. So there's going to be a wall of old and new Yamaha for you to come and have a look at, amongst loads of other things as well. Korg are there, Arturia are there, so is ASM. A whole bunch of modular stuff is there, but we won't talk about that. And during the event, there'll be musical interludes and so on and so forth. And then after that, there's a gig featuring Robin, Vincent, and Paulie Bow as the opening act. And then there's a couple of other acts. And then the wonderful Lula York is headlining. Now, unfortunately, according to this, the Friday night is sold out, the expo is sold out, and one of the workshops on the Sunday, the Beep Boop Electronics Tape Loop Workshop, has completely sold out. But there are a few tickets for the evening gig and a few tickets for the Thonk Modular Synth Workshop. So if you want to grab some of those, it's syntheast.com, or you can go to norwichartcentre.co.uk to buy one of those remaining tickets. If you come to the ProSynth Network stand, do come and say hello. We won't. I was hoping that we might be able to stock some merchandise to sell on the day.
Yeah, but do we have merch?
We do have merch. We're wearing the merch. Wow! But what we do have, and I've been told that there are 200 tickets for the daytime Synth Expo. So I have ordered exactly 200 exclusive ProSynth Network stickers. And unlike some people who we won't mention, they will be free.
Yay!
And you won't have to pay for them. So I've got one for every ticket holder, and just one. And they won't be laid out across the table so people can grab handfuls. They will be given out if you ask. So if you come and ask, or maybe me and Peter will just come and shove one in your face. But there will be some stickers. So you can come and get a ProSynth Network sticker. There you go. What more incentive do you need?
Are you taking Doris?
Am I taking Doris?
Doris the DX.
Yes, Doris the DX will be there.
Good man.
Along with a rare and often not seen Yamaha CE25, which was one of their early FM synthesizers, which is based on the GS2 internally. Mm-hmm. And I think Peter is bringing a CS20M and one of the ensembles. I can't remember what it's called now. Which one it is? He's not in the chat.
Something 30. It's the 30.
Begins with SK30, I think it is.
SK30.
Oh, the
that's the one.
SK30. Yeah. I had one of them for a while.
So there'll be lots of wood, basically.
Yeah.
Lots of wood on display.
Well,
and some
stick on
synthesizers.
Formica on play.
Well, yeah, cool. So yeah, there'll be plenty of that, and that's why I've got my pat tester coming tomorrow, because the CE25 hasn't been pat tested, so I need to do that.
Throw it
and
in
then
the bath. See what it does.
yeah, later on in the year, the Yamaha theme will continue, but this time we're foregoing FM. Well, we're not actually, because technically the AM1X is an FM synthesizer, but we're going to be concentrating on 90s. It is, yeah.
The
Absolutely.
AM1X?
Is all FM.
Really?
Yep, ask Manny Fernandez.
Well, I'll be dipped.
There
I
you
love
go.
that machine.
I know, it's
love
great.
that machine. Oh,
So-
and
It doesn't now, though. But yeah.
No.
so
But yeah, so we're going to have a whole 90s thing for things like Bristronica and Synthesized in Cambridge, where we're going to have CS1X, AM1X, SU10s, RM1X. I might bring the SY22, because that was a 90s thing. Oh, look, hang on, I've only got a little bit left. There you go.
just to
Take a
get
drink for
everybody
everybody.
to drink.
There we go.
got
Yes, there's going to
nothing.
be a big 90s thing at the other shows. So come and see us for that. And I'll try and get some more stickers for those shows. And maybe some merch. Oscillators are all FM, filters are modelled. There we go.
I would love to get this along to
Sculpted.
one of the shows that you're doing. Just
Well,
because
so we'll have to see what's available. Yeah, there you go, Manny says
I mean,
oscillators
just to go
all
on the table with you and all that kind of stuff. But
Ooh,
Yeah,
dear. Ooh,
Indeed.
going on. Andrew and Robbie going on the table. No, thank you.
Those
No.
tables aren't. They don't support much.
no.
Although saying
They
that,
don't.
they did have. What did they have on? They had some of the emulator stuff on there last year. Anyway, so yes, do come and see us if you're in Norwich. If you've got tickets for Synth East, do come and say hello, and come and get a sticker.
Hello.
And then come and have a play on some classic vintage synths and enjoy the rest of the show. And if you can get, well, I mean, I think tickets are sold out, but if you are coming to the Friday night, you're in for a right treat, because that film and then followed by John Fox is a right treat.
And you get to see a classic vintage presenter.
Indeed,
Oh
it's
wow.
true.
Yeah, but is he new old stock?
No, I'm old stock.
Beastock.
Ooh.
Not even that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Original pressing.
Drink heavily. That's what I suggest.
Yes.
Talking of which, do you, when you go to the Cambridge thing, do you have a restaurant to go to for that, or have you not discovered something yet? Because at Synthfest, you normally go, you find a restaurant somewhere, don't you?
Oh,
where
yes.
everyone turns
No,
up.
Yeah.
Synthfest is quite a unique thing.
Am I the only one who heard him say restroom?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
No,
Nope, I'm
so
good.
Potty mouth.
Synthesized is one of those events that I can go home at the end of day one and come back again.
Yeah.
So there is no dining experience. But Synthfest is more of a gathering. So yeah, I'm sure that Mr. Brooks, who is in the chat by the way, I'm sure he'll be up for organising our annual Turkish feast at FS.
Mind you, it's Norwich, isn't it? That's going to be a cheese and pickle sandwich on a park bench.
Steady.
Potentially, isn't it? Come
Yes,
there
is
a
the
show next
answer.
week. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a show next week. Come on. Look, my family. I was brought up in restaurants in Norwich, so
There you go.
there's plenty. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff.
Yeah, the Wimpy Bar,
There's lots of
the
great.
Golden Egg.
I really miss Wimpies. I'm sorry. I know I'm weird, but I
No,
No, I
Wimpy-
miss Wimpy's.
The
a
Wimpy
bender
quarter
on a
pounder with
bun.
cheese.
Oh my god.
The
It was
the
lovely.
Wimpy quarter pounder with cheese, which was a wholemeal bun
Yeah.
with their burger sauce, which is kind of like Thousand Island dressing, really. That was lush.
And they were the only chain that did a lime milkshake, which was to die for gorgeous.
Yeah, I'd rather
I-
die than have one.
I remember in the early 80s, we used to go, my dad used to pick us up because we'd go and see my dad at the weekends, and then we'd go for like a McDonald's on the Sunday evening before we went home. But I always preferred Wimpy. He always preferred Wimpy as well. But my sister, who was like 2 or 3 years old, she would only drink milk. That was her thing. She would never drink anything else. but Wimpy didn't sell milk. So we ended up going to McDonald's, buying a carton of milk from McDonald's, and then going to Wimpy. And we got away with it for ages and ages. And then some disgruntled waitress came over and said, "You can't drink that here. That's from McDonald's." And my dad said, "Well, we just won't eat here anymore then." So we stopped going. Yeah.
No, there were like a few Wimpies left in London the very first time we came, and
I'm sure there are still a few around.
And I went to thank you, Brooksy. But I've been back and I haven't been able to get to one since. So yeah.
There you go. We had one here in town for many years, but it's a Domino's pizza now.
Oh, blech.
Yeah, I know. Horrible.
On behalf of the entire United States of America, I would like to apologize for infesting you guys with our fast food.
Just apologise. You don't have to put anything after it. Just apologise.
Guess what we had.
Just the thing you want to apologise for.
Yeah,
listen. Okay, old joke. Guy walking down the street with a sign that says "unrest." People ask him, "Unrest?" And he says, "Yeah, I tried itemizing everything, but it gave me a hernia."
Guess what we've just had starting to open up over here now? Taco Bell.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh, great googly moogly. Stay away from it. Oh, God.
Can it stand the
tariffs? You want
tariffs?
to clear out, yeah.
Oh,
anyway.
God.
Well, that's kind of neatly brought us to the end of the show.
Somehow.
It was a struggle, but we got there in the end.
It was.
Yeah, hopefully next week you'll have more to talk about, but I won't be here. So I
will you
be?
But you'll be calling in, will you not?
No, because during the show, the film starts at 6:30, so the show will be. So I won't be able to do that.
So it's just going to be. It's just going to be
you and him, and whoever I can get to stand in, unless Mike wants to come back next week.
I'd be happy to.
Well, there you go. There's one.
I'll even be on my best behavior so that Andrew doesn't want to eat a gun.
But I tell you, I won't be here on the 7th of March either. But I can tell you right now that standing in for me will be the wonderful Jason Jervis.
Yay!
Oh, wow. I never get to be on a show with Jervis.
So
No,
he's
he
going to be
doesn't have the internet yet.
Whatever. People don't realise that East Anglia is the birthplace of all these telecommunications marvels, what with BT at Martlesham Heath and all that. Anyway, we should move on swiftly. So I won't be here next week, but well, of course I am.
Well,
I live in Surrey. It's a shithole. There you go.
It's true. My wife's from Surrey.
If these two gentlemen are okay with it, I will happily stand in for you, Robbie.
I'll have my people call your people.
Yes, please do. We'll do lunch or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that
we will. We will be doing lunch in Berlin.
Oh no, dinner. I insist.
You were damn right. You did.
Champagne.
That was an evening.
And then back to his room.
All I want. Oh no.
Oh,
Just
God.
no.
Anyway,
There you go, Synchrotron. I knew there was a reason why you used to live in Surrey.
yeah.
If I tell you what, you come back now, you wouldn't recognise it.
So let me remind you, Andy Synchrotron, are you doing your show at the normal time this weekend? Please do let us know in the chat. Normally, Andy does his live streams at 10 a.m. UK time on a Saturday morning. So do tune in for that. Last week, he threw a curveball and started it at 9 because he had other things to do. But do let us know in the chat if it's
Yeah, I
starting
thought half
at
of
the
my
normal
life
time.
had disappeared when I woke up. It was like, oh my God.
I've overslept.
Oh my God.
So Andy at 10 a.m. tomorrow with his stream. Then you got Ramsey at 1 p.m. Tomorrow. Oh, it's an early start again, so set your alarms early for Andy. Ramsey at 1 o'clock on Saturday. You've got Symptoms of Reality, who are apparently alive now with their popcorn night. How dare they go over us?
Yeah, I want to hear my track.
Yeah, you go. So you have to do it on catch up. Then you've got who else have we got? Sunday, Jamie is back. Of course, he's been back for a few weeks, but this Sunday he's got guests. Don't know who they are yet. He just said that he was going to have guests on, so he's on at 6 p.m. UK on Sunday. Symptoms of Reality will also be on Sunday as well because they're every day. So there you go. Lots of people and content to
Can I make a quick mention here, Robbie?
Go on then.
We have added over at radiospiral.net, we have had this explosion of new programming in the European time frame. So if people are interested in hearing 1 hour live ambient meditation music concerts, we now have them Saturday and Sunday mornings, which would be at, let me think, 8 a.m. translates to 9.
Is it 5, 6, or
no
7
3
or
p.m.
8
No,
hours?
it's from me. It's 7 hours, so it would be 3 p.m. I think UK time.
I thought you were Mountain Time.
I am, and
Then
UK
that's
is
6.
no,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
What time is it right there, Robbie? 9?
It is 9
o'clock.
And it's 2 p.m. here. So F you. But 3
I'm
p.m.
thinking Central.
Woohoo!
Oh.
But 3 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays there are live 1 hour concerts, and then Saturdays Sundays at what would be 9 p.m. late at night, there's a beautiful new program we have with Rebecca Hillgraves, whose voice will make you want to propose marriage, called I Scream Sunday, which is vocal-based electronic and ambient music, and it is glorious. So please check radiospiral.net, mark your calendars. We've got new programming, and we're hoping that more and more of our European audiences will not have to stay up into the middle of the night to enjoy it.
Thank you very much. Lovely.
You are welcome.
Okay, time to say goodbye. Thanks ever so much for watching us. Sorry if it was a bit of a kind of a drudgy show. Nothing to do with the personnel. It's just that not a lot of news to talk about, and what there wasn't really exciting. But hey, we get these weeks.
Speak for yourself, non-expander owner.
What?
Just a quickie. Can someone drop the Spiral FM link into the chat, just so that people know how to get to Mike's show? Because actually, I hate to fucking admit this, but it's a good show. It's a good show.
Thank you. Radiospiral.net. Yes, if somebody could throw that in there, I would be very appreciated. And that's got a listening widget. You don't need anything fancy.
Oh, thank you, Thane.
Right, I'll try again. Thanks for watching.
Oh, by the way,
we will see you all same time, same place next week. Except I won't. And
have a safe trip,
time.
Robbie, and have a blast.
I will. Don't worry.
It's only at the end of his road.
I know, it's like 30 miles up the road. It's not far at all.
Fall out of a window,
have
we'd be
fun,
there.
and we will see you again. Go and check out all the other shows that we mentioned earlier. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give us a like, and follow us, and come and back every week and check us out. And we'll see you all very soon indeed. Thanks to Mike for dropping in as well.
Always glad to be here.
And
Thank
we'll see
you
you
so
soon.
much.
Take it easy, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.